Hey everybody, welcome to We the Dead. I am your host. No, I am not the Reggie Mathis. You may have noticed something a little bit different. I am J-Co is it. I have two excellent guests here with me.
Thank you.
We have Miss Crystal, Mr. Will. I will let you guys introduce yourselves in just a moment. As you know, as I just mentioned, Reggie Mathis is away this week. He graciously allowed and asked for me to fill in for him. There are big shoes to fill. First of all, I've already failed because I don't have drinks like usual. I also don't have a wonderful wife like Starla to make those excellent mixed drinks. So I have a bartender sitting next to me. Could have asked him, and yet here we are drinkless. So moving on, we've had Miss Crystal on. It's what's the social media? Your social media name? Twitter.
Indie Hip Chick and Tila Shalise.
Yes, Tila Shalise.
Yeah.
We had her on once before on We the Dead. She was so excellent we had to take her back.
Oh, yay.
Say, come on out and discuss. And then we've got Will, the Wilsonian.
Yes.
He came up with that name all by himself.
I did.
I guarantee you that.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself
Oh.
in relation to The Walking Dead.
Oh. Still alive. Been watching since almost day one. Absolutely love the show.
Yeah.
So the opportunity to come here was amazing.
And how long have you been watching?
I've watched the entire thing, but I think
Right.
I started maybe 2 years or
2
something.
years
I don't know.
in.
A few episodes, a few
Okay.
seasons in.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Well, I started actually a little into season 1. I heard the idea. I said, this is great. I got my daughter who was then about 8 years old. So, yeah, I'm a great father. I said, hey, come on, let's watch this gory zombie show. And it was our show. We watched it together, and we loved it. So we're going to kick it right off with today's show. We're going to talk a little bit about last week's episode, get into what happened, what you guys think about that. Later on, we will discuss tonight. So starting, my first question, was this the best episode of the season? Well, I'm going to say yes, since you guys have to think about it.
Okay. Yeah.
It was absolutely the best episode of the season. I'll tell you guys why. First of all, the acting by our king was amazing. The man brought the character depth, finally. I feel like they gave him that opportunity, and he took full advantage of it. So that was number one. Number two, it was just an action-packed without unnecessary action, like just a whole bunch of explosions that come out of nowhere, like maybe episode 1. So what do you think, Will?
Oh, you know what? I like the way you were going with that, with the king, because you saw him in his character as the king, and then you saw him out of the character as the king, and then go back into it.
Man, I ain't your king.
Right, exactly. You saw him slip back into himself as the person he was beforehand, and then got brought back into the king because it was necessary for everyone around him.
I have to agree with both of you guys as far as the king portion. But the action pack, I still kind of felt like it was still going pretty actiony there, because like the car chase and stuff. I was just like,
Yeah.
It was, and like he was saying, it was still actiony, but it wasn't Jerry Bruckheimer blow everything
Yeah, it wasn't
up.
unnecessary. Like
Right.
it all fit within the
Yes.
storyline. It kept you, while still advancing the story of, the entire series as well as the episode. That's how I felt. So I thought it was a great episode. Got into a little bit of a discussion with the Revolution and the Reggie Mathis on Twitter about it. They were singing its praises. Now, I had an exception to this. It was the best episode, but have we not been here before?
I think we have, and I think we need to be. There's multiple loops to this roller coaster, and you need to have that high and then come down from it and then come back and get hit with something else.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the same stuff.
It's a trademark of the show almost.
Okay,
cycle.
it is a cycle, and I understand that cycle of being highs and lows. But I'm gonna set out the scene here for you. You tell me who I'm talking about. Okay, I am a leader. My people are following me. They enjoy following me. They believe in me. I come into some horrible conflict, and that conflict kind of breaks me mentally, and I don't want to lead anymore. who am I?
Rick.
Or Shane, or the governor, or now the king. We've been here too many times. They could have broken him down in another way and still got him to the same point. That's how I feel. So that was my thought.
So they're
on
using
that.
the same formula
same
and just
formula.
putting another character in that formula.
Exactly. There's almost, it's almost identical. I just laid it out. It's almost identical. So I feel like if you're going to develop this character like they did in that episode.
Morgan.
Although he was never a leader of anybody.
True.
But he sure did break down and still kind of is.
Yeah.
So now another thought I had during this episode, we have moved pretty much away from walkers, right? They are background scenes. This episode kind of brought them back in as a main antagonist, right?
Yes.
So thinking about everything that they've been through, we're just going to go with Rick's group. Who's scarier, people or walkers?
People.
You guys still feel people are scarier?
Yeah.
Walkers don't have a motive. I mean, they only have one motive. People have multiple reasons why they're doing things.
The reason why I started watching this show was because I am a zombie genre fan. Zombies are these mindless things that, in theory of all the monsters, kind of the most realistic. Not really, but I mean, if you really want to reach, they're the most realistic, right? You could find yourself in this situation. I want more zombies. I want to see that conflict where you have this mindless horde that has one goal, to eat your brains, right? They are eating, flesh eating, brain eating, no matter what, which kind of iteration you choose, they want to eat you. That's scary to me.
Do you think that maybe, because I know they've been kind of like playing on the nuclear or whatever, chemical zombies, that maybe though, because I feel like they kind of do that where they're introduced a zombie problem and then it will become a huge zombie problem. Like, do you think that maybe that'll be a future huge zombie problem, or that it just stopped with the death of,
You mean within The Walking Dead?
Yeah, like you think that those, because they kind of show a little bit like with the wall, not the wall, where the trucks were and all those zombies were. They kind of show like this could potentially be a problem. Then this is a real big problem.
Right.
And I was thinking maybe that nuclear zombie issue could become a real big problem.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point. See, I didn't even think of that because I thought they were going to go somewhere with that in the episode where it's like, oh, toxic zombies. This is something brand new. But then all they did was, I guess I'll mention it now, they just killed Shiva.
Yeah.
That's really all that they did. I was going to talk about this anyway, so now is as good a time as any. They went ahead and really Shiva went out like a punk.
Yeah.
Like a punk. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
They're saving some money here. They're probably like,
Yeah.
Bingo. I think that's the name of the game with AMC and these producers. I think we got a comment.
Yes, you have one from the vacationer, the Reggie Mathis, who's away out of this cold.
Yes, I'm definitely interested in seeing what he has to say.
Bringing us some Orlando warmth. And he's saying,
I'm not feeling it.
Ezekiel has been living a fantasy since the breakout.
Yes.
He needed that snap to reality.
Absolutely. He absolutely did. And I agree with the place that he's in as far as, okay, I can't not fake it until I make it because there's too much reality around me, especially if I'm going to lead my people into war. Yet still I smile. Maybe you shouldn't be smiling. Maybe you should be thinking about what's about to happen and what you might be leading your people into. Thank you, Reggie. I love that comment. I feel like we could have got there in another way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on that note, since we had the best comment about Shiva that we could possibly have, I don't think we need to dwell on Shiva anymore.
No.
Shiva's gone. She gone. All right. So here is my other question that kind of came up from this episode. Should we be moving on from Rick? Rick has kind of been the focal point for the most part. At this point, we've got so many different characters. We've got so many different storylines. Is it time to move on, or is it time to go back heavy into Rick?
Go back into as in
him as a main character and as a focal point.
No, I think we're fine with there being so many characters and so many storylines that we haven't touched yet. That he is, I mean, he's your ace in the hole. If you need him, you know where he's at. Let's develop these other characters.
That Rick Tater out the back pocket. You need some action. Pow! He's about to get into a gunslinging match with somebody and kill him.
I actually like shows that kill the main character. So then you're kind of like, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah.
As you know, people watching, like I love that.
They got the cojones.
Yeah.
To kill somebody like Rick. I agree with that to a point. I don't like being tied to anyone, and the showrunners have from kind of the beginning. You'll read articles and they'll say nobody's safe, even Rick. They don't mean that.
No.
Rick is not going anywhere. I think they do fear some fan backlash. But I agree that we could move on from Rick and the show would still survive. I think Reggie, I'll let you just a second. Reggie mentioned before, it's time to pass that torch on to Carl.
I could see Rick doing almost a Carol, where he's gone away for a while.
Yes.
You forget about it, and then almost give him his own storyline somewhere, and then shit gets deep again, and he rides in like the cavalry.
Like you said, we can pull
that card. Pull that card.
Dip into him every now and then. Hey, it's Rick. He's still here, kind of.
It's Rick.
So do they need a main character? Does this show need a main character?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I mean we have plenty.
No.
Now, see, I agree that you can definitely. I mean, Game of Thrones. Excuse me, Game of Thrones has shown. I guess I'm about to lie here. Game of Thrones has shown you can have several storylines without having that main character. Although one could argue Jon Snow, but I feel like having that person that you need to be focused on, that this story revolves around. I don't know. There's something about that appeals to me. I don't necessarily need tradition. I don't need you to hold to, I mean, I'm always pushing for going out of the box, but I feel like they could use a main character in The Walking Dead because it gives you focus, and this show sometimes loses focus.
It does. And I think it's more of an evolution thing where Rick was the focal point, and where is his family? What is going on? And then it became more of Herschel and his family, and then the farm and everything that was going on there, and then the prison and the governor and everything. So it's more of passing the baton in increments, not just killing off a character. Certain characters, like I said, you could do a Carol and just get rid of
So
the
who's
person
the next
for a while.
baton? Who gets that next baton?
Ooh.
It probably would be Carl. Like I feel like it's Carl and Michonne. Like if they figure out
I'm seeing them wanting to push to Maggie.
I just don't want it to go to Maggie.
I don't want it to go to Maggie either. Look, man, let's get some flavor up in here. Like you said, we can go to Michonne.
Yeah.
Let's have some melanin injected into this show, like some permanent. You know what I mean? Have the King come up. One of them. They could even go to the King.
I could say that King just because of what happened last episode and almost his deconstruction and rebirth.
Yes.
Kind of like they've done with everybody else, and just okay, he's in this mentally. He's in this place. What has that done to him, and how is that going to shake him up in his kingdom?
Okay. Now, speaking of characters, character development, and focusing on characters, I had a thought, and I want to ask this question. I want to pose this to you guys. Okay. In lieu of the drinking game that I did not prepare.
That Reggie had comments for about that.
What's Reggie's comment?
What'd he
Please
say?
let me know what his comment is.
Oh, okay.
About my lack of drinking game. Because I knew Reg was going to be on here watching me like a hawk.
Yes.
How's he treating my baby?
Well, I hope not Harvey in it. But you gotta drink in order to enjoy The Walking Dead.
Ouch.
Ouch. Yes.
Said he literally has to make a drink for you guys just so you can enjoy the episode.
Oh, my man. Hey, listen. Okay, so let me address that real quick before I move on to my last point. I know y'all were all excited about me asking this question.
Right. But this is more exciting
no,
right now.
Listen, because this was the best episode of the season, and I feel like that. You guys maybe agree, at least feel like it has valid point. But these episodes have been kind of boring. I was not expecting this episode, which is crazy because there have been seasons where we've had multiple episodes and then they take it back and then they come back. Yeah. Do you need a drink? I mean, is this show getting boring?
I wouldn't say it's getting boring. It's just kind of getting predictable, I guess.
Which is boring.
I feel like they throw some salt and pepper in there every once in a while.
Right, right.
So
More salt and pepper.
Right. Well, and that's why they need that shake up.
yeah.
I think we're going to start a new campaign, #Kill Rick. I'm atting Tila_Shalise because she's the one that came up with the idea.
She did.
So #Kill Rick.
Yeah.
All right, we going with that. So now to my question. We got one episode, 2 characters. You can pick any 2 characters. They have to be still living, of course.
Oh.
We're not going back in time.
You cheated.
You changed it on me.
Oh, you guys.
You changed it on me.
Really? You guys are going to bring people back to like, all right, fine.
No.
I
You
didn't
said,
stipulate.
I said any character. You said
I
any
didn't stipulate.
character.
Yeah, any character. What 2 characters do you got doing that whole episode?
So I can pick.
You can pick whoever you want.
Okay.
You got to go with your original
I
thought.
want Sasha and Michonne because I feel like they were
Okay.
both.
Ooh.
They've been badasses throughout this entire situation. You know, they've both gone through their mental breakdowns, but they were able to get through their mental breakdowns, and I feel like we would actually survive. I mean, I might not be much help, but they have all the skill sets and they make logical sense and they won't go do dumb
As
stuff.
black women don't want to do. Yeah,
Like, they
make
won't go do
logical
dumb
sense.
stuff. So that's why
I love that point. I have to bring up a point based on that. Did they have any or much interaction when they were both on the show?
No,
They keep.
didn't.
Excuse me, but it's like they keep the colors separate on that show. Like whites only here. You better not touch that whites only AK-47. Why do they keep the black people so separate? The only the most integration they had was Sasha and her brother.
Yeah.
And that was her brother, so they had to be together. And even then, they kind of separated. And now they they're interracial a couple in a heartbeat now. What's going on with that?
I don't know. That's a really good question because,
That's a-
I feel like they would have had some great episodes
Oh,
together
yeah.
instead of
Yes.
pairing Sasha with Maggie all the time and Michonne, I guess, with Rick. It would have been nice.
Or
if
Michonne
they,
with Carl.
Yeah, it would have definitely been nice to have them both together, kind of going out talking about their experience. Because I mean, just as a black person in the apocalypse, you'd be like, man, this is crazy. And
Yeah.
we're just kind of
Yeah,
like
seriously.
just getting that mindset.
Yeah, you can't tell me that prejudices have gone away with the apocalypse. That no, because there's some racists in the survivors. I guarantee you right now.
Yeah.
Well,
we got
that goes into mine. That goes into mine.
Please.
I wanted Morgan and Meryl.
And oh,
Yeah.
what would happen in this episode?
Exactly.
Please, I know you thought about this.
I don't.
What's the basis of that episode?
I thought of those 2 and just started in my mind eating popcorn. Because I wanted to see what that dynamic would be because it would be them against each other and against the Walkers.
Right, because they would stay together and Merle would stay with him, right?
As long as he's useful.
Exactly, but he would always have that plot in the back of his mind. Do I
Yep.
need him anymore? Can I betray him? How can I undercut?
When can I?
Yeah,
Not
when
even
can I?
if.
Yeah,
when,
exactly.
When does he ride out his usefulness and when can I kill him?
I love it.
When can I? Yep.
All right, well, I'm going to present mine real quick. Actually, I have one of yours. I want to see more of Michonne and Carl. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, since we're killing Rick anyway, we already know that Carl is going to attach himself to Michonne because that's his next kind of mother. But I feel like they would develop each other's character more because, number one, Carl wants to be a badass. Rick wants to protect him. That's really his goal, is to protect him. Michonne will be like, no, man, this is how you do this. So Carl's already good with the gun. She would teach him some sword skills, right? We would go through the countryside, kicking ass, taking names. Carl's already a leader. He is. I don't know if I want him heading everything yet, little sociopath. But he is, for sure. We got a comment. What say you?
On Facebook, we have a comment from one Ramon Javier Benitez. And Ramon says, correction, Carl is a badass.
Okay. Okay, Ramon says Carl is a badass. I would have said yes if he hadn't punked out so bad with Negan. I understand they couldn't have Negan dead yet, but they could have had him go out. At least he could have tried to shoot him and somebody messed that up. You know, I wanted him to pull that trigger even if he didn't kill him. So, but yes, Carl's a badass. He is. He is developed into that place, and they don't show him enough. Like, there's not enough Carl on this show, I feel. So,
at this point. When
yeah.
there was enough Carl, it was whiny, get rid of,
right. Well, he was there. He was a plot device for his dad.
Right,
like, yeah.
right. And we've seen what you want. A couple episodes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they've had, but it wasn't
Yes.
the whole episode, and
Right.
I want them on their own, developing each other, you know, pushing each other to that next level as they are now.
Yes, as they are now.
Yes, because I like their iterations. But hers is the best, just because you can never have too many black women on TV.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We will come back and talk about tonight's episode and our predictions. Stay tuned. We the Dead. Welcome back. We the Dead FCN. With me still Will, still Crystal, still Jaco.
We haven't been killed off yet.
Although we are in a survival type setting because we about to freeze to death. So what we gonna do, because FCN brass obviously don't like paying that heat bill. Understandable. We don't have Walking Dead budget, and they had to get rid of Shiva because they were spending too much money. So what do we expect? So we're going to have a discussion about tonight's episode, what we think is going to happen, a couple predictions. So apparently tonight I do believe they're focusing on Negan and Father Gabriel, finally, which actually some of us thought last episode was going to be that, but they shocked us, and they actually continued with a storyline. Like from one episode to the next, it was 2 sequential episodes. What do you think about that?
I was in shock. Like, what? We actually get to finish what happened?
We
You
didn't
know
go
what
back
happens next?
to someone's
No
past.
flashback?
Right, exactly.
What?
Someone's checkered past. How did we get here? Let's discuss this for a whole other episode before we actually find out what's happening. So yeah, so they're going to focus on Negan and Gabriel, at least part of the episode, I do believe. I don't think that they're going to go away from the survivors. I think that this is going to be an all-survivor episode. I pray it's not only Father Gabriel and Negan. How do you think, because he was like, oh yeah, you're going to shit your pants.
Yep.
No, wait, sorry. You're going to shit your pants. Because I leaned back so much, I might hit you in the guts. How is he going to leverage Father Gabriel? Or is he? Can he?
I mean, leverage him as in turn him, or
I don't know. He feels like the look on his face was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do to you. It logically, makes sense that he's gonna try to use him against Rick and them to turn the tide somehow. So how is he gonna do that?
I think for me, more so, it's going to be about how can he use Gabriel to get out of the situation he's in, and then from there, if he's still around. Is he useful enough to turn or cut bait?
Okay.
I don't know. This is going to be really interesting because he doesn't know that Father Gabriel isn't all that important. So maybe
Right.
that can be something that Gabriel can flip on him and you know, maybe rile up some things and get some battles started or something. Because, I mean, I don't know if we don't care about him, but I don't know if, you know, the group
and we've seen Gabriel leverage himself, like you're talking about, that he is more than he is to survive himself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he might use that, and like Negan's about to get rid of him. It's like, no. Rick needs me, and yada, 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 because once again, he doesn't understand.
So this will be his first test since the last time he kind of flipped on him. He has been preaching for like a couple seasons now, since Alexandria, when he kind of sold everybody out, that he's loyal, that they can trust him, that he's, you know, there for Rick. He's there for Rick. He's been preaching to other people about being there for Rick. Now that test is coming. I actually hadn't considered that. What I feel is going to happen, I don't know how he's going to leverage him. I feel like they're going to come up with some lame way to use him, because this is what happened when Rick, at the end of that one episode, or maybe it was at the beginning of the one where Gabriel got stuck with Negan. Rick was waiting. Oh, where's Gabriel? We got to wait for him. We got to wait for him. And somebody else pulled him back.
Right.
And they're like, no, we got to do, he's all right. He'll take care of himself. We got to continue with the plan. So that was sort of setting up, oh, yeah, Rick cares. No, Rick really cares about Gabriel. He's been watching his grown daughter, his teenage daughter, for, you know, a couple seasons now. So I can't even think of her name. What's her name? The daughter? Nobody knows the daughter? Okay, you know what? Yeah,
little badass.
Little kicker. Little ass kicker. Anyway. So
I can't lose my nanny.
Right, exactly. So I think they are going to use him. Obviously, it's not going to turn the entire tide, but it's going to make Rick make some hard decisions. That's my prediction on that. Now, will we move out of Survivor's Camp?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so either. You know, they like, you know, keeping the budget low, and if they're going to be in one place, let's stay in this one place. I don't think he's going to use him to get out that situation. That's not a situation that Negan's worried about, is being surrounded by zombies. They've shown, you know, time and time again that all you have to do is move right, and you won't get scratched or bit by a zombie, even though there's 100 around you. So he's not worried about that particular situation. His people are going to come. We got another comment.
Yes, sir. Anthony the Michael Williams on Facebook says, Gabriel not that smart against Negan. Do you believe that Gabriel has that type of survival intelligence?
I don't.
I don't think he, I mean.
Maybe, like, you know, like the fight or flight, he might, like, come up with something to survive.
Yeah, right? I see it right there. There's my opening. Yeah. I'm going to go for it.
He might McGabriel himself something.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Negan's one thing is manipulating people. Yes. Like, that is where he's reading and messing with folks. He has mastered that. I don't see him getting the wolves pulled over his eyes by the like of Gabriel.
That being said, Gabriel's a priest, so messing with people is his...
Now, depending on where they're going with Negan, this could be a seed planted to when they end up beating Negan and either capturing or what have you. So, my quick question, how is it that the survivors have been this prepared up to this point, and that all of a sudden, oh, they get so overwhelmed by Rick's awesomeness and that group? Have they really? That's the question, is have they really been overwhelmed, or is this just a small setback for them?
I don't even think they're overwhelmed. I'm just confused by this whole entire season.
Okay.
In the order
Me too.
in which they are attacking things.
Yes.
Right.
So it just makes me feel like they're prepared for this.
It feels like there's this big map, and we've seen like this one little city here and this one little mountain over here, and there's all this other stuff we haven't seen yet. I agree. It's hard to put that together. So what's going to happen tonight?
They're going to sit in a trailer, and they're going to talk about life.
They're going to talk about life. They're going to explore why it is that we are all conquered by Negan. Who's going to die? You got to pick. Somebody's going to die tonight.
Somebody's going to die.
Who's dying?
Probably somebody that's not all that important to the story. Probably one of those backup people.
Right. Backup survivor?
Like one of our group, probably back, because they've been kind of killing our people who aren't all that important to the story. So probably somebody.
Gabriel's dying tonight. You heard it here on We the Dead. Jay Cool is it. Said it. Called it. Mark it down. Forget about it next week if he doesn't die. Thank you guys for joining us. Now you go ahead and tune in to Walking Dead on AMC right now. We're going to go watch. Have fun. We'll see you next week.